on to this episode of TNG. I'm here with Kiyoshi Shelton of Kiyoshi Music. Just go ahead and introduce yourself and share a bit about what your mission is in this on this earth plane.
Yeah, my name is Kiyoshi. I'm a transformational rap coach, musician, and creator, and I help inspire and assist others in tapping further into their creative abilities from the page to the life stage. And really inspiring people to really be their full selves, gaining musical skills and a lot of trust and vulnerability, particularly in the art of freestyle. And it's been a lot of fun and a really incredible journey so far in this earthly dimension. And it's my passion, music. And I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. It's interesting coincidence because it's almost like my psychic teacher brought us together because my psychic teacher is Roy Kiyoshi Goya. And
that's right.
I just looked up Kiyoshi and you came up and I started following you and you're like,
oh, wow.
How'd you find me when I reached out to you? And I was like, oh, yeah.
That's dope.
Hey, Kiyoshi, ironically, you're a teacher. You're a teacher, a double Gemini, as you told me, of word magic, some music magic as well with hip hop. And Kiyoshi in Japanese means master teacher, great teacher. One of the many words for that. So that being said, I would love to know a bit about the emotional and energetic side of teaching and coaching, because I'm a teaching coach as well, and I know there's so many different emotions to work through with others and triggers to go by, and the show is about energy. So just let us know a bit about the energies at play and the energies in motion, the emotions that you work with on a day-to-day basis in your work.
Yeah, great question. The emotions that I work with on a day-to-day basis. I mean, it's a variety, it's a whole range, right? I think being an artist is to convey, express, and feel the vast array and the emotional roller coaster that life presents and brings to us our way. And you can't, spiritually bypass or suppress, neglect, or push aside any of these emotions and expect growth. You have to feel to build, to grow, transmute. And so as an artist, as a writer, performer, singer, rapper, I think all these modalities are medicine. Even though my specialty expertise is rapping, I do like to consider myself a vocal alchemist and somebody who utilizes the voice as ways to help, move through blockages and gain more freedom and liberation, to heal and take me to a better place and to, like I said, to grow. And so I work with people who, are facing fears and, limitations and blocks, or maybe even sometimes traumas. I'm not a trauma counselor or psychologist, but I see these things come up, and I know that music is an ancient practice and has been around since the beginning of humankind. All tribal societies, shamanic societies use music, storytelling, and dance. And with what I teach is just, full expression of all that, particularly, again, using the voice. But I do incorporate some movement, but just, full self-expression. And I think when we can tap into our emotions, feel the anger, feel the sorrow, and be okay with it. A lot of times people aren't okay with it. They try to make themselves, oh, I'm okay, I'm happy. But once we get down to a really true vulnerable state, and then that allows more growth and a lot of acceptance and, healing in that process. But so when I work with people, I might have them write something down, and then so it's like journaling. It's like journaling those emotions. They get to find a voice, and then maybe we can rap or sing about it. Make it a whole creative project, and turning that sorrow, sadness, anger, happiness, joy, whatever it is, into a song. So now it's being alchemized, and it's the energy is moving, talking about energetics. So now it's like you're moving the energy, moving what was stuck. You didn't even know that. And so I see this with people even when they're freestyling. I do this myself sometimes when I'm coaching people, like, oh, snap, I didn't know that was there, or I didn't know I was going to say that. So allow myself to feel. And then when people connect in group settings, they're able to really reflect on certain emotions that one person might have pushed aside. So again, it's a lot there, but tapping into the emotional side, it's I think songs and art is more interesting and engaging and heartfelt and received when we are able to open up and express our true emotions using art as a way to do so, because it connects us to the creator, the divine, and our higher selves. Our subconscious mind can get activated. We can also reflect and help others heal and give other people permission to work on themselves and to dive deeper into their own personal self-work.
Yeah, I know personally in my life it's been a challenge. I think every man deals with this more so than women, with really feeling and expressing their emotions, and qigong and deeper aspects of meditation with this. But music has been huge, and we're so universally how do you say, kind of we're almost like privileged, in a way. We have so much music available at our fingertips nowadays. And that wasn't always the case. Like, our parents had to go to the record store and they had to choose their favorite artists, and they had to have the record in the store and all of these things to get just one playlist before they're home. And they couldn't take it on the go. They couldn't pop out a speaker wherever. But we just have it at our fingertips, and music has played such a pivotal role. And I know not just our collective lives, the two of us, but everyone watching this has really inevitably experienced music as medicine in one way. And that's what I was trying to get to, is that in Chinese, the ancient character for music is almost exactly the same as medicine. So this dynamic is kind of going viral on social media, and people have been writing about it, is that in Chinese calligraphy, in Chinese language, music and medicine, same thing. And in working with the different intonations, different frequencies, healing tones on YouTube are huge. And mantra as well. I feel like mantra, a lot of people are getting into affirmation, and that also the power of prayer. And you can create as you speak, as my ancient Judaic Jewish ancestors would say on my great grandma's side, on my maternal line, is that abracadabra, we create as we speak. So I would love to hear about your perspective of how we can use our language, both in music and the art we create, but also in our lives, to create dynamics that are beneficial to our life rather than detrimental, like the stories we talk about and the words we add to the book of life through our art, through our language.
Yeah, thanks for shedding light on that. And that's a very important subject and thought right there. Me and my girlfriend were just actually talking about that today, just the importance of mindfulness and awareness of our language and what we're speaking into existence. Spelling words can cast spells, or we can create life. The tongue is a double-edged sword, so you can tear something down, you can bring it up, you can bring life to it. So and a lot of times people say these certain things that people have allowed into their vocabulary, common phrases, right? Like and then don't really realize what they're saying. Just like, for example, I can't do that. I'm never gonna get this, blah blah blah. And then it's like you keep saying that, you're gonna believe it, you're gonna follow suit, right? I can't. But really, like, so changing that I can't to I would like to do that, or I know there's a way, coming from more of a curious place. Like, how can I do this? Okay. I'm not able to do that at this moment. However, I'm open to the possibilities of doing this. I see myself feeling that. So yeah, just really for me, getting back to your questions, just more and more awareness and observation into what we are allowing into our daily language, what we're saying, and then also like knowing that it is possible. So not cutting ourselves off from the possibility of, hey, maybe you can get that. Like, yeah, I'm open to receive that. I haven't had it yet, but I'm not just going to say I'm never going to get that, or I can't, or this negative self-talk, and just saying it out loud. So even our thoughts, right? Everything starts with thoughts. Thoughts are vibration. Then we can feel it. Then as we start saying these certain things, it can come to life. So I think it starts there. Just really like, for me, also adding on to that, just having a morning practice, morning routine. I felt like kind of crappy this morning. Didn't want to get up. It's cold. Like, oh man, I gotta do some work. Yeah, get my morning routine. But then, like, okay, allow myself to feel it, being okay with it. All right, I feel this way. However, I'm gonna do my morning routine. This is for myself. It's bigger than me. Okay, and then throughout the day, just reminding myself, like catching myself. All right, what am I saying? Okay, let me retweet that. So making little tweaks here and there, not being so hard on myself. And then celebrating the victories. Okay, I did that. So that it's not like, yeah, I think it's important to celebrate, small victories, and also to not be so hard on ourselves, but just do it one step at a time. That's what I tell my clients too. Like, okay, you're not gonna just be superhero rapper or musician overnight. It's just one step at a time. So just like with the language, okay, let me just not be hard on myself. But more mindfulness as far as what I'm saying or what I'm feeling. Okay, all right, I can do this, which creates more self-confidence. Takes time, but yeah, whatever we can do to get us to that state of just always bettering ourselves, I think.
There's loads
and how we
of
speak to ourselves.
there's loads of gems of wisdom in there. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick out a few to discuss. Is one of them is the concept of we can, and that internal, more gentle talk with ourselves is something that us spiritual warriors are constantly working with. Like
Right.
not being
Sure.
so militant with the internal discipline, having it structured and
Yeah.
in a way that helps, but dreaming bigger with our internal language, with our thought language. I loved how you connected those two. Is something that has allowed in my life, I can only speak for myself, a much higher quality of life. Because in the past, and everyone I think to a certain extent experiences this, unless you're born a golden shimmering Buddha child, which some people definitely are. Maybe that's us as well in some forms, but I remember in the past, and have experienced a lot of other people saying the same thing of like running into these walls, and the walls are in our mind. They're not real walls, but it's like,
Right.
oh, this didn't happen for me. I didn't get this job or didn't get this relationship or whatever. Now it's bang, and they're like, oh no, their whole world was in that box. Whether
Right.
it's a relationship or a career opportunity or a family unit or a friend unit that maybe they got put outside of the box and now they're, oh, there's a whole world out there. But one of my friends, Catherine, who's a bit of a wild child, is she completely changed my life. And if this wasn't said to me, the power of words, if this wasn't said to me, we would not be here talking. I would not be nearly as prosperous and having these great adventures that I'm having and meeting the phenomenal people and having the relationships that have been wonderful and life-changing. I came to her in California and visited her, and I had this very small idea of what my big dream was. And she's like, oh, like you have something you want to show me? I'm like, yeah, it's my dream, my big dream in my little box was to have a little healing center where you could do yoga and qigong and reiki, and it had 2 stories, and the upper one had a balcony, and I would be teaching meditation there, and she'd be like, "You're bigger. Your soul is huge. What are you doing in that box?" And it's just since that moment, all the limitations have gone, and it's I've made the paths easier in my consciousness, and everybody listen closely. Is the only answers you can get. You got to knock on the door first. If you want opportunity, you have to reach out to people. You have to ask questions. You have to communicate. The only 3 answers anyone can ever give you, they might have all sorts of fluff and other words mixed in, but there's yes, no, and maybe. That's the only way anyone can respond to any question or statement that you have in your life. So when I started to realize that and expanded the consciousness to say, hey, I can do all these things that high level prosperity people, high level spiritual people are doing. So why confine myself to a small box when the answers are always yes, no, or maybe? So I just have to get myself in the position to ask the question to the person, place, or thing, and then call on the grace of Jah, call on the universal forces of nature to help bring that to fruition. But that's the thing I found with the language of the internal self, the internal dialogue, and the external dialogue. It's coming to a space of more expansiveness and coming into a space of I'm communicating not just with my words, but with the vibration of which I speak. And one of my best friends from St. John's University, CJ, he said something along the lines is the words you say mean almost nothing. It's all about the vibration of your words, how your words are oscillating. What is the emotional energy quality of what you're speaking into the world? So with that being said, that's pretty much the mastery of what you do. It's being able to channel words that not only hit the mind and the ears, but hit the whole sensations of the whole being. The ears are the first part of the body to form really in a human being, I'm pretty sure. So what is your best advice for not just musicians out there, but anyone really of how to use that vibe of what you're speaking to create anything, destroy anything? Just trying to pass it over to you.
Yeah, I think your question is more as how can people speak more from the vibe of being aware of the vibrational tone that they speak? Is that what you're asking me? Okay, I got you. Yeah. I guess I feel like connecting to both the mind and the heart, because it's like because people might want to speak. I guess I like to say I'm heart based for the most part. I am human, and with hip hop you can get a little braggadocio, a little from the ego, which is cool. But I think I would say connecting the mind and the heart. It's like a balance, logic, intuition. Tapping into freestyle, you're tapping into flow state. But really asking yourself, what's your intention? What are you looking to do when you communicate with a certain phrase or these words, or when you're writing this song, or if you're freestyling? It's just when you're flowing. It's just I like to say, even suggest maybe hands on the heart. When you have your hands on your heart, there's more of that awareness, conscious intention, awareness, focus on coming from the heart, and the heart can even direct you from that place. And I feel like when people come from the heart, from love, then whatever comes out, it's going to be from love. Or it may be something that's just meant to be, but hey, at the root foundational basis of it, it's from a loving place. So I would suggest that to people who are looking to raise the vibrations and be more mindful of that. And then take a breath. Breathing it's, you do Tai Chi, Qigong, that's karate, like yoga. It's all very focused on the breath, right? Just as a living being, right? We breathe unconsciously sometimes, but we are always breathing. So just more mindful awareness with the breath. So before you speak, I was taught to, okay, ground in, settle the energies, and then come from that place, right? There was times when I would just say things, and my energy would be scattered because I'm not really resetting, centering myself, grounding. And I think that's really important when we speak, and when we just exist, when we're performing something. Martial artists, athletes, they all talk about, right, breathe here when you hit, or the breath is everything. So yeah, I think even when I'm performing, it's like, when am I going to take the breath? Or before I'm speaking, breathing, coming from the heart, my intention is this. And then you have more of awareness of where, of what you're saying. And also, like, not, you have a higher chance of not saying something that's very demeaning or negative or damning when you do all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting that we have certain practices in life that we teach our youth and our generation to a certain extent, but then we don't really often, definitely not in the mainstream, teach life practices to a level of mastery. And what you brought up about breath work, about breathing, is in everything. As you said, in high level, elite level athletes, in elite level yogis and martial artists and qigong masters and everyone. If you get to a high level of that, especially music, especially singing and rapping,
Yeah,
it's all about the breath, but like nobody teaches us how to breathe. And that's what I love about our generation, is our generation's very, very practically spiritual, in a sense that people who are following this path of energy, most of the people watching this show are interested in universal forces of nature, as we are, is that we're learning breath work. And we're learning these Tumo techniques that Wim Hof's running with from the Himalayas. We're learning yoga breath techniques. We're learning meditative breath techniques, qigong and martial art breath techniques. And we're not just okay with the standard, okay, I got my low, shallow breathing. We're working with the breath as a powerful element. Like, I don't know if you're into Avatar: The Last Airbender, but you have the name Kiyoshi.
Yeah. Right, I'm the Avatar Kiyoshi, man. The male version.
Is the elements, and we channel all of these elements, and we can enhance our breath, we can enhance our words, we can enhance the way we stand, the way we walk, the way we talk and live in life. And we don't have to just flatline at, like, okay, at 3 years old I learned how to walk and talk, and I've just been kind of hanging out at that mediocre stage. We can go beyond that, and we can channel these elements. And that's an interesting question, and I almost have no idea what the response will be. But in regards to, it's a good question. I'm like, my heart's jumping for joy with this one. When creating and performing music, how do you integrate the elements, the standard 4 elements of air, fire, earth, and wind?
Wow, that's a deep question, man. I love it. Let me think on this for a sec. How do I incorporate the elements when creating live and performing? So you got air, fire, water. Yeah. Before I answer this, kind of want to add a preface. Like, me and my buddies, we did we would do hip hop Kundalini workshops, and it was correlating the 4 elements of the earth, of nature, air, water, fire, water, what was the other one? Air, wind, fire, water, with the elements of hip hop. So graffiti, turntablism, break dancing, and MCing. and I was so it was four of us, so we each had an element. We each had a element of hip hop and an element of nature. And I was the fire MC, connecting fire with the with MCing. And so yeah, we got to really see the elements there. And so kind of like with that knowledge, going into this question, is like, as a performer, I see all of that, just the fluidity of the of my dance, and like just maybe the spoken word, kind of like the looseness. And when I speak spoken words to the crowd, right, when there's no music, it's just kind of fluffy love language to the crowd, right? Certain times, right? Tapping into that space. Maybe I might do a little corresponding movement with my hands. It's kind of windy, wind, air, water. When I'm dancing, certain parts are just really juicy, right? I might be moving in such a way that's kind of fluid, right? With my body, and kind of dribbling words with la 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 la, dripping words, kind of like raindrops, right? Or maybe they become really oceanic in how I'm dancing with the music, feeling that. So I guess, yeah, it's more so is with my body movements, but of course, like also feeling that those nature elements in my voice as well. With the fire, just coming with that ferociousness of like, rah, da, 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 really tribal, divine, masculine, raw energy that I'm bringing. Yo, da, 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 just destroying all the bullshit, all the anxiety, stress is just melted and torn, and then I'm like washing it away with the loving melodies, right? And then the element of air, water. What am I forgetting? Earth. Yeah, just like
Yoshi, come
taking.
on.
Yeah, right. The Avatar. Yeah. Just I would say the tribal, the drum beat, right? The hip hop drum beat. Boom. That's very primal, primitive. Sometimes when I'm entering the stage, or just certain parts that just get people clapping, boom, the doom, doom, doom. Maybe it's like when I'm taking my breath, getting into the grounding element of it, right? Earth. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and let's clap together. And we're all together. We're all like grounded, rooted together. Yeah, man, so just a combination of all that, feeling all those elements in our body with our voice. And you can tap into all those elements with the movement and how we use our voice. So yeah, it's a lot there.
That earth element's like that foundational. I love that you related it to drums, because that's like the foundation, the rhythm, ground on which that music stands. And my piece on the music as medicine with the elements is that we have the capability with our voice, even beyond music, but especially with music, even if we're just listening, to refine and heal our lives, whether we need to destroy some stuff in our body or whether we need to nourish some stuff in our body. Just all these different songs are coming through my head. And it's funny how people at a soul level, at an intuitive level, they know, because we have terms like all that's fire, all that's lit when we're talking about music. Right. Yeah. And to me, that means that you got something that's old and lying on the foundation of your body, or maybe in the way. And you get that fire element in the music, and then all of a sudden you got that spark again. You got I got like getting like pumped up and getting that upwards energy, like that fire always seems to grab onto something and go upwards and ascend.
Right.
And then that foundational piece, if maybe we're feeling up in space and we're all ungrounded, and we listen to those tribal drum beats, and then the medicine is okay, I am here now. We're here now together, and this rhythm is keeping us with the soil. And then that water element, like this one song, Aqueous Transmission by Incubus, is very watery, is the first song that comes to mind. That like maybe if we're too rigid, we got too much jagged edges in our being emotionally, or maybe if we're too amped up, too fired up, and we need to chill,
Right. Yeah.
chill
Yeah.
that out of it, that watery music,
Mm-hmm.
that very
Yeah. Yeah.
feminine, almost like lullaby kind of
Mm-hmm.
music. It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
smooth it out.
Right.
Let's smooth it out, not being so hard on yourself, like we were talking about before, not being so jagged or sharp or rough in life, and just going with the flow, man, and tuning into that flow space, so we're not too stuck or too stagnant or
Yeah.
too this or that. And then I feel like I always relate to the air element in music as this kind of like thought, like this brainstorm kind of music that gets you thinking, music that gets you uh brainstorming and
Right.
creating poetry in your mind. And I think of Tupac Shakur when I think of that, another Gemini.
Yeah.
Uh
Totally.
and it's like when I was listening to Tupac in my teenage years a lot, it got me thinking. I wouldn't consider it to be like wasn't getting fired up. I wasn't getting grounded. I definitely wasn't smoothing out or or calming down. But it got me thinking. Like, oh, like money for war, but can't feed the poor. We're spending trillions on war all the time, and like now with robotics, we got these mofos spending ridiculous money on war and robotics. And then when we look at the average American, can only speak for my own country, although I've traveled a lot, even in the United Kingdom and other places, is like, how much are we really getting help? And it's not hard to help. I mean, I've done a lot of organic farming, especially recently in Costa Rica. It doesn't take much to get some fruit trees going. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Totally.
doesn't take much. It takes hard work, but people are willing to put in the hard work, and people are willing to volunteer for a space to live. And loads of people are willing to help out charity
Yeah.
wise, whether people believe that or not. It's true. I've been around the
Mm-hmm.
world and seen how much people are willing to put in the time and effort for love. So that getting thinking, and Kanye West is another Gemini, another air element rapper.
All right.
And I he's a bit like way far out there, way heavy for me, but
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
gets people thinking. Another very, very thought oriented musician, whereas what he's saying and what he's talking about is often so far out there that people are thinking like, what is he saying, or like, oh man, like that's getting me thinking about something in my life. It's
Right. Right.
provocative
Yeah.
with change.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, those are all interesting thoughts, man. And yeah, I talk about this often. Like we could easily like eliminate homelessness in a second. Like with all these billionaires and all the money that's in the world, that like what we're spending on war and just stupid stuff to kill each other. Like you can just take pennies from what one of these celebrities, I mean, what Jeff Bezos is making, like he could himself could eliminate homelessness and still be hella rich.
Yeah. And
I
most
don't,
people are down for a tent. Like if you told somebody who's unemployed in America, in the United States, and most places around the world, if they're like, okay, the government's gonna give you a yurt in a national park, a big, relatively homely tent with a composting toilet
yeah.
and the shower that flows and feeds your plants. And we're gonna give this to you, and all you have to do is not be a felon, not be like a criminal.
Right. That'd be amazing.
Everyone would be like, yes, please. And I mean,
We'd
that
limit,
was the
right.
way the ancients of everyone's ancestors pretty much is like some sort of tent situation. Like I have a lot of knowledge about the world from traveling in all different
Oh,
cultures.
wow.
And Most people
Cool.
are down for a 10. I mean, like
Yeah, yeah.
if one of these billionaires or one of these anyone
Yeah,
came
yeah.
with the opportunity of, hey, like we got this yurt for you, got a Mongolian yurt for you, it's very nice, got a composting toilet, got a shower. All you gotta do is provide food for yourself, whether you're gonna work for it or grow it.
Right.
But here it is, like,
Yeah, that'd be
yeah,
amazing.
and I gotta hustle to get that, like
Right, right.
pretty close. I could get that, but right now I'm
Hmm.
living that nomad life.
Okay.
But yeah, and the really important message from that is that relates back to what we were talking about with the uh, utilizing our language and our internal language for thinking bigger and speaking bigger about ourselves, speaking bigger about others, because while the government and the billionaires, the great majority of them have obviously shown that they're not going to do that for us.
Yeah, right.
We can do that. We can hustle, make enough money together, network to the point where, okay, we got this property, we got this space, we got the connections to, we got the builders to build the tent, build the yurt, build the structure. We got the farmers and the gardeners to start growing food and planting
Hmm.
trees. We got the plumbers to get the compost situation right, so we're benefiting the earth and not destroying her. So we can do it, but we just have to expand our mind box, and that's something that I really wish for a lot of people to do, is expand their consciousness, open up that heart chakra, because when you have that heart open, as you're saying, when you're speaking from the heart, you connect naturally with the ecosystem. We're a part of nature. We're very evolved monkeys, but we're monkeys, so it's like we're not too far from nature. We are nature, and even the cities we build are what's it called, golden ratio. Like they abide by the laws of nature. Everything does.
Hmm.
So when we expand that mind, we get out of that depressive state. And anyone who's feeling like a bit depressed, or they're feeling lost or despair, to get out of that state, as somebody who's got out of that state years and years ago and has been in a blissful state where whatever whatever life throws at me, I can ride that roller coaster and have it enjoyable. Is you got to expand the mind, you got to expand the heart, you got to open up, because life is going to give you what's best for your soul. And when you open up to connections with others, to connections to new places, new opportunities, then you're not stuck at that family unit. You're not stuck in that hometown. You're not stuck in that dead end job. You're looking and saying, okay, what can I practically do? What can I mystically do to get myself in the dream life that I want?
Right.
And I'd love to see your feedback about this one. Personally, I had to make new dreams for myself. I had to create new dreams for myself because I achieved my dream life. Like my dream life was to live on Maui and live a mystical life, kind of a wizardly life, and I did it. And I remember it's the exact moment where I was thinking, like, I fulfilled my dreams. I need to create more dreams. I need to dream more. So I would love to hear about a bit of your story about that in fulfilling dreams and achieving sometimes goals that we never even thought possible.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, there's a guy or a channeler I would follow back in 2012. I first saw him channeling called an entity called Bashar. You ever heard of Bashar? And Bashar is like the what is it, hybrid species of the hybrid of a gray alien and hominid from a future parallel reality. Anyway, this guy Daryl Anka channels Bashar, and Bashar has, even if you didn't believe the story or whatever, just the information, the wisdom that Daryl shares through Bashar, or Bashar shares through Daryl, is incredible. And one of the main pieces or themes he speaks upon is following your highest excitement. And he says it in a funny voice, follow your highest excitement. So that it's been like the reoccurring just theme that he would always say in like every single lecture or event that he would speak at. And that was just really resonant for me at the time. You know, I was like just leaving, transitioning out of a job. I'm from Michigan, but I moved to San Diego, California, got this corporate gig. And, you know, I was always performing music since I was a kid. And, you know, it was just very near and dear to my heart just to follow the passion. I was in the cubicles, like writing songs. Like, I need to just do music. And so listening to Bashar that year during my transition was very pivotal for me. And I carried that message with me for a long time, even to today, you know, just like it hits me every now and then. Like, follow your excitement, do what excites you. What's your bliss? Follow your bliss, your joy. And it relates to what you're saying as far as your dreams. What do you dream of? What do you envision? For you, it was going to Maui and, you know, living on a organic farm and being in nature in Maui in a beautiful Hawaii. And for me, it was, you know, just continue to pursue music and following it one step at a time. And so sometimes it changes, right? And I saw myself as a younger kid, as somebody who was, you know, an iconic figure who was doing some type of music or something really cool. I didn't know exactly what. And so I feel like, yeah, they're for the most part, I'm following my dreams. I'm still fulfilling it because I have accomplished a lot at this point. I'll be 40 soon, but you know, released a number of projects, did some touring, traveled to different countries, and inspired a lot of people. Put out a number of projects, and yeah, I have some other goals and dreams that I'm looking to fulfill, and so I'm still doing that. But yeah, just relating it to what you're saying as far as your dreams. You know, again, it changes, but yeah, just really believing that and just taking action towards whatever that dream or goal is. You know, of course, the visualization, tapping into the vibrational frequency resonance of what it is you're creating in the future, but bringing that into the present, of course, and then just speaking that as if it's happening, feeling it. You know, there's different techniques that people talk about, vision boards and all that. So, and, you know, and there's different points in my life when I've done that, and I'm still doing that as part of my morning routine. And again, I think for me, just like taking action to do that. So that's what allowed me to really fulfill a lot of those dreams into, you know, and again, I got even bigger dreams I'm fulfilling. But yeah, man, I've been blessed to achieve many of my dreams. And then finding gratitude for the dreams that we have fulfilled, you know, because I think gratitude helps us manifest even more. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like whatever you believe in, the great creator, the universe or goddess is, they're not going to give you, even nature's laws itself. If somebody's watching this who's atheist, or if I haven't included your spiritual beliefs, let's just assume it's all one force. They're not gonna, it's just like a friend. They're not gonna give you more. They're not gonna give you more gifts if you're like, oh, you get what you wanted, and you're like, nah. Nah, it's what I wanted, but I'm still not happy. It's like, no, like you said, bringing in that gratitude, breathing in that gratitude, that energy, that chi of gratitude, of the dreams, the prayers that have been fulfilled. More come in, more come in.
Right.
And we just got to continue that wavelength. And I love Bashar because I'm a channeler myself.
Oh yeah.
Myself, so I don't watch too much of his stuff, but I have seen stuff. But yeah, my way of putting that is just following the heart, and it's so culturally we're so programmed by the media to like avoid that, and they're like follow the heart. It's like, oh, like you're gonna be some like hippie floozy kind of like, that's the people that follow their heart, and it's like made into a cheesy thing by the media. But man, following the heart has been phenomenal. I mean, it's like it will put you in uncomfortable situations because you have to face the fear to transform it inside. You have to face the ghost, and then the ghost disappears. You have to face the monster in order to fight it. You can't put your back to it. You gotta face that. But the heart has given phenomenal gifts in my life. And I'm sure everyone watching has at least one experience where they just followed their heart. Some people call it the gut, but I would say the heart, because most people's guts are just filled with a bunch of whatever we've been fed by by these food corporations. But following that heart puts us in a space of intuition rather than rational thought. And for me, like you were saying, all of those dreams that you had from an early age, for me, it was a bit far out. My dream and my highest excitement, my highest joy was to be a Jedi. So it's like simple, plain as that. When I was a kid, it was like, okay, I want to learn the ways of the Force. I want to be a Jedi. I want to have the ability to connect with nature in a way that brings mystical powers through me. I want to be able to use my energy to heal others. And as a kid, I was imagining that I was practicing it. And my cousin Sean recently reached out to me after a ceremony that he did in Amazon. He's like, look, we've been training for this moment since we were kids, imagining that we were Jedi. We were training, and we were doing qigong, we were doing meditation. And I'll never forget the moment where I followed my heart. And it sounds like the ultimate hippie thing to say, but right as I was coming out of my big awakening in 2013, really shaken up, really ungrounded, really in a lot of ways lost, I followed my heart to purchase some crystals. So I'm like, I want to get some, I like amethyst crystals, I like gemstones. So I went out to Sable Town, the town over from my hometown, and I was going to a jewelry store to try and get some crystals, because I had no idea. My mind wasn't expanded at that point to know that there's crystal stores all over the world that sell amethyst for $1 or whatever. But I'm walking down the street and I get this buzzing in my ear, like, and I feel it in my heart, like something good's coming. And I look to my right and there's this store called Guru's. And I walk into that store, no doubt in my heart at all that this is going to be something phenomenal. And I meet my Reiki master, Hector. And he kind of looks at me like one of those kung fu masters, like, I've been waiting for you. And he looks at me like right into the heart, and he's like, you're a healer, Owen. I want you to study with me. And it was that opened the door, opened the consciousness, opened the mind, opened the heart to everything I'm doing now. Is that he saw me from his heart and said, you're a healer. And I started practicing Reiki, which brought me to Maui to study massage therapy, which brought me to my Chinese medicine teacher, who taught me the ways of the Force with qigong and Chinese medicine, and brought me to my psychic teacher, Chi Kiyoshi, who taught me the psychic, all of these Jedi arts, and my Hawaiian Lomi Lomi and healing teacher, Chine Iwalani Naluai and Ho'omana Spa, for all those people who speak Hawaiian. Pua. All of those were legitimately Jedi type things that, like, at an early age, my heart was jumping, like, yeah, like, tune into that meditation. And I've been meditating since I was a kid, intuitively. And when I saw stuff like Star Wars and these Avatar: The Last Airbender, when it came out, and they tuned into meditation and they tuned into the power of healing, and I really knew at that age. And sometimes we have to go back to that inner child to rekindle that highest excitement. Some people have numbed themselves, some people have forgotten it, but that inner child of your soul never dies. So when we could remind ourselves of that highest joy that you were talking about, then we could really tune into what is our purpose and our passion. And with our purpose and our passion, we have nearly unlimited energy to go forth into that goal. And that's one of the main reasons for your success and my success, both spiritually and physically, and the way we relate to the world, is that dynamic of we love what we do. I love when I can help change somebody's lives with a psychic reading. I love teaching people Reiki. I love guiding meditation, and it feels like an hour goes by and it's like 2 minutes because it's so enjoyable. And when you have that, it's like the quantity of your years, the quality is enhanced infinitely. So when you have that highest aspiration, that highest joy, that highest love that your heart is asking from you, then you have the answer, in my opinion at least.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I agree, brother. The joy is where it's at. The bliss.
So how did you were you born with the name Kiyoshi, or was that a chosen name?
I think it's a combination of both. I think my soul was like whispering to my mama's ear, like, "Hey, name on this." My mom's from the Marshall Islands, which is a little west of Hawaii, the Micronesia. So you got Polynesia, Melanesia, Micronesia, and yeah, it's in the Micronesian part of the Pacific Ocean. And on the islands, her mom adopted her. Adopted mother's half Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, she kind of grew up with that Asian, Japanese kind of cultural upbringing. So when she came to the States in 1970, dated my father, a black man, and had some mixed kids and named us all Japanese names. My name is also a combination of my mother's adopted mother's name and father's. So Kijidik is a Marshallese name, and Yoshimi is my mom's adopted mom, who's part Japanese. Yoshimi is also Japanese, so she took the Ki and the Yoshi and combined that to come up with Kiyoshi. Yeah.
It's really a powerful name for several reasons, and you're gonna love this. It's Kiyoshi is a Japanese royalty name. So when Japanese people around World War II or after World War II, when they migrated to places like the United States or everywhere else in the world, pretty much after World War II, this happened. If they were royalty, they had to renounce their lineage. They had to renounce their royal rights to come to America. So Kiyoshi is a royal Japanese family, and my teacher Roy Kiyoshi Goya just recently told me that because his family was some of those Japanese royals who wanted to come to America so potently that they renounced their royal rights to come here. Then you have Ki. Ki is Chi.
Right.
When the Taoist masters and the Himalayan masters made their journey all the way, some of them took boats to Japan. And when they taught the Japanese, Chi got translated to Ki. So Ki is the universal energy force. So Reiki, universal light, universal energy force. Kiyoshi is great teacher, is what it translates to, masterful teacher. But when you break it down, Ki is that universal energy force, and Yoshi is a sort of teacher or elder figure.
Right. Cool, man. You've learned some Japanese?
When you follow that heart, man, seemingly random information comes in and fills your heart up with joy. So I figure out some. I'm a big language guy myself, so I love words. I love word origin. I love people's name meanings. So usually, if I meet somebody, I look up their name meaning. Luckily, I had Kiyoshi already from.
Yeah, you already knew. Cool, man.
So,
and Oracle Owen. What does Owen mean?
Owen is a Celtic Welsh and Irish name for young noble warrior.
Okay.
And
Nice.
when you take the word origin back further, there's all different names that are actually the same name. So like Louis, Louise, Awan, what's some other ones? Yeah, this is names like that, and they all mean noble, famous warrior, noble, renowned warrior, kind of like hero energy. And then the root word is from Hebrew, ancient Judea, and it's Yohim, and Yohim means famous warrior hero or noble, well-born warrior hero. So that's Owen. I was like you. I was in the womb saying, "You better name me this, mother."
Yeah, exactly.
This is my name.
It's my name.
And then my middle name is Theodore, and the name meaning, I have yet to meet somebody whose name meaning doesn't match, but my middle name is Theodore, which is Greek origin. Theo is spirit, spirituality, the study, and it encompasses not only gods and goddesses, but just universal spiritual practice and studies. And then Dor or Dore is like to adore. So Theodore is one who adores spiritual practices and spirituality. So you put it all together, and it's young, famous, well-born warrior who loves spirit and spiritual practices. So there we go. I got into from martial arts, and now I'm more in the energy arts, but it hits the nail right on the head. And then you have Kiyoshi.
There you go. We are warriors together. Yeah, man. Well, cool. I got to start heading out in a little bit on some errands, but we're at the hour mark.
All right. So yeah, we'll wrap it up, and thank you all for joining, and make sure to, I keep forgetting to do this, everybody do this. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Kiyoshi's work, to TNG, to Oracle Owen, and let's keep expanding. Let's keep making the world a better place from the power of the heart. And yeah, any finishing messages, anything you want to get out there to the world, Kiyoshi, before we finish up?
Yeah, what we said, follow your heart, follow your bliss, your passions, your dreams. Don't let anything stop you. I know it's cliche, but it's super potent, as me and Oracle Owen have shared today. Keep doing that, y'all, even during these hard times. Tap into that heart. Maybe even ask your heart, hey, how are you feeling? What do you suggest, heart? Do you have an answer for me? And then from there, you'll be led to where you need to be going. The heart knows.
Absolutely, the heart knows. And once you get into that heart knows space, that knowing space, make sure to bring in the flow. When you bring in that flow, you could be less rigid. And if you got this perceived problem, like everyone's facing this big problem, and whatever perspective people have about it, we have the same perspective about it. But you can flow out of that situation, out of that thought, out of that way of talking about it, and flow into a happier, healthier, wealthier space.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining, Kiyoshi. It's an honor to meet you. It's an honor to speak with you and share this wisdom. So wishing you all watching this, and Kiyoshi, the best health, wealth, happiness, and love that you can possibly receive in life, because you all deserve that. We deserve that.
Thanks so much, brother Oracle Owen. Appreciate you, man. Much love. Blessings to all y'all. Take care.